Everybody, this is Doug here from the U Frontier, also from the U Frontier blog, which will soon become the Proteus newsletter, as well as Doug Music, DUG Music, where I got some new music coming out soon. Anyway, today I wanted to tell you about statistics, and specifically why statistics are often wrong and how people psych themselves out using statistics. So I don't know if you've been there, but I'm sure many of you have. You'd be scrolling through your Instagram, or you're on YouTube, or you're seeing some graph that says that something is not right. That says that you might be scrolling just through some graph or something that tells you something you see, and you're like, oh no, this is bad, right? It gives you this graph that it comes at you. It says 50% of marriages end in divorce, and you think, oh well, yeah, that's really bad. If I get married, it's a 50% chance it ends with a divorce. Like, why even bother getting married, right? Or you'll see there's an 80% chance that you'll actually hate your job, and you'll read that and be like, oh man, that's rough. Like, why am I going to be in the 20% that likes my job? I don't believe that. That's not going to happen to me, right? Or you see this a lot with relationships, where it's like they talk about how like 90% of the women want 10% of the men, or something like that. And a lot of this data isn't even really true. A lot of this is manipulated. A lot of this is taken out of context. But even if it is true, right? I just want to get that out there, that like you don't have to be a statistic. You're a human being. You have free will, right? You're a living being with free will. You can take action. You can do stuff. You can change stuff, right? You're not ChatGPT. You're not entering a prompt. You're not aligning a data set. You can actually decide, hey, I have this goal of being a good part of the statistic, or I don't want to be a statistic at all, right? I want to make my own way. And you can do that. You can choose to do that. And you can at least take steps there, right? I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed success, but the first thing you should do is not to psych yourself out, not to try something because you see a statistic that says, something's going to be really hard, or you're not going to be able to do something. And people do this all the time. Now, statistics, I want to be clear, they're not evil, right? Like, there's good ways in which we use statistics that say valuable things. For example, I watch a lot of baseball. If you're a hitter in baseball and you have 10 at bats, you get 3 hits, we can calculate a batting average. So we say, hey, this guy's hitting 300, this other guy's hitting 200, this guy's hitting 400. We know who's better and who's worse. But there's a lot of things that there's no easy measurement for, right? Like if we say, are you happy? You could say, yeah, I'm pretty happy, or I'm not that happy, but there's no easy measurement for that, right? If we say like, how much do you like someone, right? How much do you like this other person? That's you might have an opinion on that, but there's no exact measurement. You can't just rate that 1 to 10. Even music, right? You can't rate that 1 to 10 because it's different to different people. It's too infinitely complex to be boiled down to a single statistic, right? So I think it's really important that you do the same for yourself, because just like music, right? You're too simple just to be put into a statistic. And if you want to do something, you shouldn't let statistics psych yourself out. You should instead become the statistic. You should change the graph you see. You should contribute to that. As I say, that's how statistics work. They're not meant to be there in one place for all time. They change over time, right? The average life expectancy used to be about 30 years old. Half of people would die when they were like babies, or they're infants or toddlers, right? Half the people didn't survive past like the age of 2 or 3. And now it's very different. Why? Because people changed the statistic. It took a long time. It took a lot of work from a lot of different people, but that statistic looks very different now. And so, you don't have to be a part of something you see that you don't like. You can say, I'm going to be better than that. And the worst thing you should do is just to doom scroll and look at these statistics that say, and you treat that as a religion. It's not a religion. It's just something there, a piece of information for you to see. And there's a lot of other information, and there's plenty of other information that's very valuable too, that can't be so easily grabbed. So in conclusion, don't be a statistic. Be more than that. Be a living being with free will. Anyway, my name's Doug. If you like hearing this rant, you can hear more, and you can subscribe to my blog. It's the U Frontier blog. I'm going to merge that with the Proteus newsletter. And you can also check me out at DUG Music. That's Doug Music. My name's Doug, on YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify. I got a new mixtape coming out soon, Back into the Matrix EP. I got a new album coming out soon, Back into the Matrix, where I'm going to be talking about stuff like this as well, in a little more fun way too, in some little more musical way. So check that out, and hope you have a nice day. Peace.